I have seen multiple videos between yesterday and today talking about white women and how one was a white woman talking about directly to black women about letting them in. I don't know into what. I don't know where they want to go. But then I just saw the interview of about Alex Cooper and Vice President Harris and how Alex Cooper has lost all her followers and a lot of followers, not all. And I have all this passion in me that's enraged because as a black woman, this is why black women don't trust y'all. And I know y'all want to be seen as individuals while you collectively group everyone else into groups. And we're not individuals, but you all are. And want to be taking, want every last one of us to look at you as a person first and not assume who you're with. This is why we can't. Because I grew up hearing the horror stories of Emmett Till being from Chicago and living in the same neighborhood that this young man went to. Like, what are y'all going to understand? Like, one, the world is not revolving around you. No matter what these people told y'all, it still don't revolve around you. That's why the weather hit y'all the same way it hit everybody else. But even with that, y'all making up stories talking about somehow someone magically is controlling the weather because this is how much you've been lied to. You have been lied to so much in your lifetime that you think there is always some big white man in the sky that y'all preemptively call God, and y'all think he is making sure your life is perfect or good enough. And when it's not, it is somebody walking around on this planet that don't look like you fault. And that's crazy. And I don't know what it's going to take. I am someone who is skilled in mindfulness and coaching, emotional intelligence. And I'm telling you, until the idea of whiteness is dismantled, you all will not be free. You think we not free? We created the culture that you enjoy. Because without it, let's be honest, America wouldn't really have culture, right? The people that are native here are the only people that created culture from America. And honestly, black folks are the only people who this is all we know. You know, even our Native American counterparts who were here first, again, this is according to stories they've been telling us, and we see how that's going. Let's go with that, though, because that's what I believed my whole life. Let's go with that. This is Native Americans were here first, right? But they had culture before everybody else got here, before immigration became the way of life, which is another hilarious fire y'all want to call from inside of a building when there's no fire, when literally this is an immigration nation. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Y'all forefathers immigrated here. Then they brought people over here. We love immigration so much, we drag people over here to immigrate them here, forced them to do the labor, didn't want to acknowledge them as humans, didn't want to acknowledge them as citizens, were vile monsters. The monsters of the past have nothing on the monsters we watch on TV. Absolutely nothing. One of my favorite shows is From. And I'm telling you right now, we ain't got nothing on even those creepy monsters from that show, okay? Because the torture didn't just happen at night under sundown. It was all day and night, right? So this is what we're grappling with. And we are in a society where we have so much information, it's undeniable. So what are the powers that be trying to do? Remove information, remove knowledge, remove consensus, right? Because if I'm from Illinois and you from Florida, we got a way to compete. But if we from the United States of America, we're one. And I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to understand this. This is not a political page, but I have to say this with my chest because I have 3 black sons and I grew up in this country and I don't understand. You do understand your hate in this day and age cannot buy you a car. It cannot get you a better paying job. It used to, but it's over. There's no going back to something that doesn't exist, y'all. Like cotton picking ain't coming back. You ain't kicking out. Y'all don't understand. You don't want to do the jobs that they are letting folks that we've now rebranded as migrants that used to be immigrants, humans, to come over here and do. That's the only reason. That's the reason why a lot of immigrants who can come from other countries can get business loans that black Americans don't even know exist and they're not offered to them, right? There's a reason why everywhere I go, I see certain groups of people owning certain kinds of business. That's by design, right? I'm also the person that learned in what used to be a mostly diverse community that I live in now, that during 2020, when everybody somehow were waking up to the fact that we live in a racist nation, I don't understand how you willfully put on blinders about that. But you can. And there's people who didn't seem to understand that their neighborhoods were completely created through redlining, and that they don't understand that people come into neighborhoods and completely change them and make them unaffordable for the people that have been living there for decades. This is the history of America. And if you haven't read Caste and you got the stomach, that's the true history of America. I need for us to just start to understand, as women, as white women, as black women, as Asian women, you're not safe. But you have power if you choose to use it. And if you continue to give it away to who you've been conditioned to give it to, you are writing the future of your daughters, nieces, aunts, sisters. You're going to be a future grandmother where you're going to have to look at them and say, I contributed to the fact that we don't have a united nation. We don't have democracy because the stakes are that high. Everything has a snowball effect. And so you can snowball towards togetherness, towards greater good, towards empathy, towards compassion, towards leadership, towards education, fairness. I'm not saying Kamala is Jesus or God, but y'all got to ask yourself why y'all think Trump is. What has he done? What fruits of the spirit from a Christians who consider themselves Trump lovers? For the black man, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? I don't understand it. This involves your life. And I make decent money and still it's too high. I got a child in college right now. It's too expensive, and I get that. But if you don't do the wherewithal to understand how our nation is configured in terms of government, in terms of how things are actually ran, and you just decide you don't want a woman in charge, and as long as between a woman and a man in your eyes, I hope you know that man don't look at you like a man. So you're not comparing yourself to him because he don't look at you like that, boo. She is educated. Like, I don't even understand this. Like, if we could just go down the resume. Let's change her name to Jack. If you changed her name to Jack and put her resume and his resume together, you wouldn't even, the ATS system wouldn't even pull him in for a screening for a job interview. Like, so just accept it and just say it with your chest, because what they think they're about to do is completely change the country, move everything back to the states, and then try to slowly remove itself from being a part of the United States of America. I need y'all to wake up. I need you to read a book. I need you to understand that while I don't agree, I don't even know all her policies. I don't want to be afraid for my future children's lives because of the leadership that's being put in place. And there's nothing you can do to tell me that I should be scared of Kamala, but not terrified of Trump. Get it together.